looking at their lineup as well as we're underway here at the soccer complex.
But yeah, so going off, you're talking about the Iowa Hawkeyes starting lineup. We know they've had a major goalkeeper battle this season so far between Taylor Kane and Fernanda Marink, and Marink will be getting the start today.
Ball will start in Minnesota's end. Trying to start with it the other way are the Gophers. They'll go out of bounds for a throw-in. And for the Hawkeyes, Jonah, I mean, this is an offense that hasn't seen much of their prime goal scorer last season, Barrett Pardon, but they played their part, and they've benefited so far to start this season, still ranked in the top 15 in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, whether they have their probably top playmaker or not, this is a team that can make noise with just about anybody in that front line, even in the midfield, even as we've seen defenders finding their way to impact the goal sheet.
Cross the other side, and missing the header there is Sophia Bush. She'll try and play it back up top towards Skiff, but intercepted by the Gophers, and a whistle will sound.
And we saw another game from the Hawkeyes. We've seen a lot recently this season where against Purdue in their last game, it was a very close game. Obviously, Iowa got the winning goal in the last 12, 15 seconds, but that was a game where Iowa really statistically dominated. I mean, they dominated in shots on goal, and they dominated. I believe they had 63% possession as opposed to Purdue's 37. So a dominated game from the Hawkeyes. But just once again, I think the emphasis today is going to be being able to connect on those final couple passes in the attacking third.
Handball called on the Hawkeyes near the halfway line, and Minnesota will start the counterattack quickly. They'll switch the field. And that pass is off the mark. Hawkeyes will look to regroup as that one sails out of bounds for a throw-in.
And early in this season, Iowa's had the better resume out of the two teams. This is actually, the Hawkeyes are the first ranked opponent that the Golden Gophers have faced this season. So major test for the Golden Gophers. They've had a solid start. Their record, obviously, they're 5-2-1. So nothing to be ashamed of, as they're actually tied with the Hawkeyes in first in Big Ten conference standings. They are 1-0-1. But it's just going to come down to who can really control the game today. We've seen a lot. Iowa tends to control at home, but this Minnesota Golden Gopher team, they haven't really been tested yet. So it's going to be interesting to see how strong and how aggressive they come up against a top 12 opponent in the Hawkeyes.
Gophers will try and get an attack started the other way. A good stop there from Millie Greer. She'll send it back to her keeper. Myrank all the way towards center line, but Gophers win it back. Pass just off the mark, cleared by Leposer. Out wide, this is Taylor Heimerl. Defended there by Oching. Will go out of bounds. Gophers will have a throw-in.
We spoke to both coaches before the match, and specifically Minnesota's head coach, Erin Chastain. She talked about how, she knows it's definitely their toughest opponent yet in the season. She knows Iowa's very good, but for the Golden Gophers, in preparation, it's just another game for them. Nothing to be worried about, nothing to really stress about in training. Just kind of go into it business as usual.
Throw-in for the Gophers. Long throw-in. That one will go out of bounds. Hawkeyes now with possession. A lot of possession so far has been on the far side, close to the fans. And only real scoring chance we've seen so far in the first 5 minutes is a cross that just missed Sophia Bush's head, as Hawkeyes are trying to get out of their own end. Trying to switch the field there. Trying to switch the field was Ellie Wildman, hit a player. Here are the Gophers, and that shot just wide. A prime scoring chance for the Gophers. Paige Kala right in towards the penalty area, but just misses the target.
Just an uncharacteristic error there. I believe that was Millie Greer on the miss pass, and gifted just a golden opportunity for Paige Kala for the Golden Gophers. And surprised she missed the target there. Plenty of space for her inside the box. Could have even maybe touched it a little closer to that goal. Try to get a little easier spot to place it in.
Oching will play it to Wildman. Defended there by two Gophers.
And that chance back there for the Gophers, you're going to have to take you're going to have to cherish your chances against these Hawkeyes, especially when they make an error to give such a good chance away. I mean, we know this Hawkeyes back line is just built off such a veteran leadership. Not many mistakes you're going to be seeing this season, so a rare one there, and they get away with it.
Schuler trying to find Wildman, but a handball. Gophers will look to counterattack. Imero will set things up. She'll play it back to her keeper, Sarah Martin.
So the Hawkeyes applying a lot of pressure, something we usually see out of them, especially once we get later into the game. But the Hawkeyes are very effective in pressing teams. I mean, just off the bat, I mean, they're a very relentless team, cause a lot of errors.
Mariah and Wynn on the left side, defended by Schuler. Oching to help. Plays it back. Imero will try and send it to the box, but it goes out of bounds. Goal kick for the Hawkeyes.
We haven't really seen Iowa slowly build the ball up into the attacking third. Something we usually see out of them. They typically, when they control games, they like to really just pass with a lot of meaning, not a lot of force balls down the field. And it's just something we're going to have to keep an eye out for, see if they play more aggressive like they did against Northwestern, or if they're going to really sit back and kind of find the open space, but let the open space come to them and not force anything too quickly.
I will try and switch the field. Here's Greer on the back end. Leposer trying to give herself some space. Feeds it to Tarasco. Being pursued from behind, trying to play it out wide to Oching. Passes off the mark, though.
And I like that. Elle Wildman made the first kind of dummy run for the Hawkeyes, opening up plenty of space for Iba Oching to make a perfect run down that right wing. Tarasco saw it, but unfortunately just didn't put enough under that ball.
Now trying to find Rolling, who is looking for a partial break, but intercepted again by the Gophers. They'll start the other way. This is Kala. Try and feed it to the middle. Hawkeyes are there. They'll win possession back. This is Bush out wide. Trying to feed it through to Tarasco. A little miscommunication there, and Gophers will have possession back.
What we saw, for instance, in the Northwestern game last Sunday is Northwestern was able to play a lot of quick balls in the midfield and really just dominate possession in the midfield, as opposed to the Hawkeyes, who are making a lot more errors. So it's going to be something to take note of today, is who is going to win that midfield battle.
Big collision there. It's going to be a foul on Abby Skiff. And yeah, just sticks the leg out on Tatiana Cunningham.
It's good to see Cunningham walking off okay. That's a pretty tough collision, especially early on in the match.
Well, Big Ten soccer is known for being a very violent is maybe a strong word, but compared to most other conferences, it's very, very chippy.
Iowa tends to be very physical. Not necessarily. There's a difference between physical and dirty. We don't usually see them play dirty, but we see them play very physical. They're not afraid to put their bodies on the line.
Minnesota's going to have a throw in. Turk will try and find Freya Jupp there in the middle. Looks like it's going to be another foul on the Hawkeyes. Free kick now for Minnesota.
It's a very dangerous spot for the Golden Gophers. I mean, a good chance for them to get a lot of numbers in, which it looks like they are. They're putting a lot toward right around the top of that goal box, so we'll see if they can find a head or foot on this one.
Paige Kala will send it in. Only a one-man wall for the Hawkeyes. Here's the cross. Doesn't find anyone initially. Hawkeyes are there, and they'll clear it outside the box. Gophers still have possession, though. Imro will send it out wide. Here's Kala again. Trying to get around Bush. Centers. Trying to spin and shoot there was Jupp, blocked. And a corner kick now for the Gophers.
Well done there by Leposer to stay really tight on Jupp and just make sure she doesn't have any good space to get a shot off. Obviously blocking it with her foot there, and definitely the best opportunity we've seen so far. Second best opportunity that we've seen so far in this match. The first one obviously being the giveaway from Greer, but a good opportunity here on a corner kick for the Gophers.
Kawa towards the far post, headed briefly. The Hawkeyes will look to clear, and they do. But Minnesota sends it right back in, headed away by Greer. Gophers still have a long shot from outside, is blocked. And Meyerink will control.
Yeah, Minnesota certainly seeming to control the attacking flow of play so far in this match, but early on we'll see if Iowa makes any changes to that. Now, Dave Diani, we've talked about before, is recently extended as the head coach for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and he's done just an absolutely terrific job. And as we said before, he's 4-6-1 against the Gophers in his career, but that's certainly better than Iowa's all-time record against the Golden Gophers, which, as we mentioned earlier, was 16-7-5. Or that's Minnesota leading that series, so Iowa obviously only having 7 wins against the Gophers in their history.
Rolling on a partial break the other way, shot over the crossbar. Can't tell if Martin got a piece of that one. It looks like she did not. Rolling, just missing the crossbar. Best chance of the game.
Well, and a good opportunity there from Rolling, and it looks like she tries to go a little more for power and just kind of smash it under that top bar, but what I want to see there is just place that. You've got plenty of space, you've got a good angle, try to fit it into that. One of the either bottom left or bottom right, they're both pretty open.
And going back to Diani, Jonah, I mean, he's trying to lead this Hawkeye squad to their first victory against the Gophers in 4 years.
And yes, absolutely. These past 2 seasons for the Hawkeyes have been nothing short of historic, and Diani's just done a terrific job. This team is incredibly resilient, and that's tough to do, and that relies a lot on coaching and how much character you build within the roster and how much fight they have through the final 90th minute.
Minnesota looking to get out of their own end. Defended well there by Skiff. Bush plays it out wide to Kenzie Rolling, who's got a lot of real estate. We'll try and send it to the middle. That's going to be blocked. And out of bounds. Hawkeyes will get their first corner kick as Keegan, it goes off of Keegan Smizer. Aaron Chastain, Jonah, 5th season as the head coach of the Golden Gophers. And I mean, it's been an uphill climb, to say the least.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, we know that Minnesota defeated a very tough Iowa squad last year in this series. So obviously, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can do it again today, kind of play spoiler for the Hawkeyes, who have had a terrific start. But Minnesota, as we've said, they're tied for first in the Big Ten Conference with Iowa. So it's not like they're a stranger to success this season.
Iba Oching will take the corner for the Hawkeyes. Just 13 minutes have gone by here in the first half. Sending it in. Headed away there. Kate Childers was the one that got the head on it for the Gophers and cleared it way out of reach. But Leposer will send it back into the box right towards Sarah Martin.
Well, and interesting there, we saw a lot of contact there. It looked like that was Keegan Smizer on Millie Greer, who worked her way into the box. Definitely a good chance for Greer to get under that ball. Got a little tangled up. No call there from the official, so Alexa let him play on. And I don't mind that early on in this match, but definitely some contact there. Fair shout from the Hawkeyes for a potential penalty.
Iowa going back again. Here's Rolling in the middle. Sends it out wide to Bush. At the top of the box, sends it through towards Rolling, and an aggressive Martin makes sure there's no shot attempt at all. Great anticipation.
Well, and the Hawkeyes, when they're building it through the midfield, they've done a great job of picking out space along the sidelines and working through those wings to find space into the middle then. But Minnesota's back line is playing really tight back there. Those 3 defenders are really compressed into almost kind of towards that six-yard box.
Schuler will send a long ball towards Rolling. Defended well by the Gophers. Backs will play a little bit of catch. It's played wide to Kala. Turk will try and set it upfield, but it goes out of bounds. Iowa with a throw-in.
Yeah, the Hawkeyes starting to get a little more control of this game. As we look at Sarah Martin, she's had a very impressive season for the Golden Gophers. She's got 3 shutouts, and 39 saves is nothing to bat an eye at. That's very impressive. She's faced a lot of pressure. Maybe it could be more looking at the defensive line there, but she's done a good job, and obviously leading the Gophers to 5 wins this season. Very impressive, and 39 saves is very, very impressive.
That, along with saves per game, she leads the entire Big Ten Conference, also posting a .796 save percentage to start the season. I mean, she's been their ride or die in the cage, and she's played very stellar so far.
Absolutely. Both these teams feature very good goalkeeping play.
Gophers with it outside the box, defended well, though, by Greer. Hawkeyes will look to counterattack. Josie Jones will send it well into Minnesota's side of the field. Tarasco chasing after this one. Sends it to the middle, but defended nicely again by the Gophers, and it sails out of bounds.
The Iowa pressure starting to look a lot more dominant as the game goes on, but we've seen a lot of uncharacteristic sort of slip-ups from that back line, specifically Millie Greer, so could be just some early game jitters, you never know, but something to keep an eye on. Could really create some good opportunities, as it already has for the Gophers.
Goal kick for Minnesota's. That chance was not kept in bounds, and crisis averted at the moment.
Now the Hawkeyes going to try to keep this ball in the Minnesota half of the field, not let them get out of there.
Played back to Martin. She'll send it over to Smizer. Torque on the right side. Trying to play it in the middle to Jupp. That one just goes out of bounds, and Iowa will get another throw-in. Poser with a long throw towards Rolling. In the middle to Bush. Looking to create some space. Across to Oching. Oching inside the box with a shot. That's going to be blocked. Hawkeyes will have a corner kick, but how about Tyra Chu getting in front of that Oching shot?
Well, yeah, great defending there, but I like what I see out of the Hawkeyes, especially Sophia Bush really attacking that space in the midfield, finding Iba Oching in space on that right-hand side. And I like that shot from her. It's not necessarily the best angle. It's a little tight of an angle, but just a good job of getting it on the frame. She's got a lot of attackers in the middle, so in case it's deflected out, punched out by the keeper, it's a lot of opportunities there for the Hawkeyes to tap it in.
Oching will send it to Schuler, who will send it back into the box. Header just missing there was Wildman. Great setup by Schuler to find Ellie Wildman in the penalty area, but just missing the left post.
Yeah, and a great opportunity. Solid contact there from Elle Wildman in the box, but just barely unable to direct it into that top left corner, but great opportunity there for the Hawkeyes.
Back in Iowa's end, Leposer finds Skiff in the middle. Out wide to Bush. Finds Tarasco in space. Smizer in pursuit. Tarasco centers. Plenty of Gophers in the area to clear it in the meantime.
And looks like Kenzie Rolling a little shaken up there in the box after some contact. Seems to be all right running it off.
Long pass by Minnesota. No Gopher in reach. Greer will start things out again for the Hawkeyes. Sends it to Schuler. Back to Greer. Nearing 25 minutes to go in half number 1. A lot of the chances have been towards Sarah Martin, but no goals to show for yet in this match, as teams are still fighting for it near the center area. Bush trying to spring Rolling. It'll find Tarasco. Iowa with numbers. Finds Rolling wide and just out of her reach.
It looks like just a little bit of disconnect there between Tarasco and Rolling. If Rolling had started that run just a little bit earlier, that would have been a great chance to just simply tap it in. But we haven't really seen Sarah Martin fully challenged yet on frame. So Hawkeyes are going to have to start trying to get they don't have to be amazing shots, but just get some shots on goal, test Martin out, maybe hope for a unlucky deflection or a rebound opportunity there. But, yeah, just nothing really threatening Martin so far on frame.
Heimerl looking for Jupp there. That pass goes back towards Minnesota's side of the field, and the Hawkeyes will win it back with a throw. And Oching, quick throw in towards Wildman. Heads it towards rolling, but Heimerl will get there first for Minnesota. Sends that one back out of bounds. Oching will throw it back towards Wildman once again. Towards the middle, Tarasco trying to find some space in the box, but defended well by the Gophers. They'll clear.
You saw what Tarasco was trying to do there. She gets that touch back up towards the middle of the box. She's going to have a wide open shot, most likely with her left foot, but closed down well there by the defender, and just another good opportunity for Iowa. But Minnesota's handling themselves well back there, not necessarily giving up overly too much space. We've seen a couple opportunities where the Hawkeyes have had open looks, but for the most part, Minnesota's dealt with the load well back there.
Heimerl with Oching in pursuit. Great job by Schuler to get a foot in there. Trying to send it out wide. Schuler again will clear it. Gophers will keep possession, but in the meantime, Maya Schuler with great defensive work to keep that one out of the box.
Absolutely, and we know this Hawkeye back line, whenever you give them opportunities to be able to defend an attack, it seems like they love it. I mean, they play very tight to their attackers. It's very rare that you see an opposing player with a lot of space around that box. They tend to play very smart and very tight and work very well together.
We're going to see our first substitution soon. Avery Petty set to come in for the Gophers. As Iowa trying to get out of their own side of the field. Schuler will play it back to Myrink. Out wide, near side to Leposer. Skiff with some space, trying to send it wide. Tarasco is going to beat the defender to it. On the left side, so we'll probably have to cross it in. Maybe trying to set herself up for a shot. Defended well at the moment. Bush will try and send it forward. Still in the box. Oching now with it, but the flag is up. It's going to be offside against Iowa.
Just a terrific run there from Tarasco to be able to out-hustle the defender. It looked like that was Keegan Smizer she was going against, but Tarasco just easily able to get on that ball. Looked like just a little too indecisive. Should have maybe tried to get that ball in a little earlier as the defender was able to close down on her in time, but good opportunity there for Tarasco along the wing.
Martin's pass deflected there by Wildman, but it'll go out of bounds.
For the Gophers, number 28, Avery Petty.
And Petty will finally get her substitution in. Coming in for Mariah Wynn.
Yeah, Wynn's another one of those Minnesota players where she has multiple goals on the season. She's got 2 goals and 2 assists, actually, so very effective for those Gophers now, getting a chance to get some rest in the middle of this first half.
Long throw-in. Headed away by the Hawkeyes. Still a fight for possession. Schuler trying to clear. It's deflected, and Skiff will play it back to Greer, and the Hawkeyes will switch the field. Skiff has it again in the middle. Jones plays it to Leposer. Long pass out of the reach of the Hawkeyes, and it'll be played back to Martin. Pass defended. Oching doing a fantastic job keeping that one in bounds. Hawkeyes looking to attack. Pass out of the reach, and it'll dribble past the baseline.
What an effort there from Oching to be able to get the tackle in and keep it in bounds. But looking again at this Golden Gopher offensive production, just really well-rounded, 3 players with at least 3 goals, and that's just so huge when you have multiple players you can really rely and lean back on when you're really needing some playmaking.
Yeah, Hawkeyes goal scoring not limited as well, as Freya Jupp is their leading goal scorer for the Gophers, but for the Hawkeyes, also with 4 goals, is Kelly McGroarty, who usually comes off the bench, but a 4-goal performance against Missouri State, and that's all she has to show for the season, but that still leads the team.
Well, it's funny because Iowa actually has, so far this season, they've had 2 super sub performances. I mean, they had the one from Kelly McGroarty more recently, but as we have a shot
from
here.
Rolling. Big save by Martin, can't control the rebound right away, and she'll dive on it. Bush was the next Hawkeye there to try and get the rebound, but the Hawkeyes with a quick transition. Big shot from Rolling, first save of the game from Martin.
Yeah, and Hawkeyes finally able to get a shot on goal, and definitely a threatening one. Not an easy save there for Martin, but handled well. Maybe she can get herself warmed up now.
Jupp gets around Leposer, sends it towards the crease. And Myrink tested right back the other way. And she makes no mistake on the save.
And Caroline Birdsall unable to get under that ball. Good cross in, good run in, but just a little too far ahead of her. And well done with there from Myrink for the Hawkeyes. But going back on it, we talked about that Hawkeye attacking line, just very dominant, and just the two super sub performances. We saw Leposer with the 2 goals against TCU earlier on in the season, and that game against TCU is actually the last time the Hawkeyes suffered a defeat. So the Hawkeyes on a very solid run of performances right now. They're 7 games undefeated.
Wildman with a great interception. She's got Rolling with her. In pursuit, trying to find Rolling, and it just trickles by the left post. Rolling had Martin beat, just can't find it inside.
Wow, and the attacker there for the Hawkeyes was just a little offsides anyway, so it wouldn't have counted even if it went in. But just another good opportunity there, and you like where she's trying to place it, just unable to execute well enough to get it in the back of the net. But honestly, luckily at this point for the Hawkeyes, it wouldn't have mattered anyways.
Yeah, Hawkeyes have been offsides twice so far today. Martin with a long boot. Jones will try and head that one a second to third time even. Skiff sends it back into Minnesota's end. Plenty of headers to start off that possession, and Rolling will try and control. Heimerl gets it by her, though, but Oching and Wildman are there to win possession back for Iowa.
It felt like for a little bit there, someone's got to win it. And luckily, Iba Oching was able to possess it for the Hawkeyes. Let's see if they can build on something here.
Bush with a touch pass to Tarasco on the left side. Pressure there by 2 Gopher defenders. Loses her footing. And it'll roll past the baseline for a goal kick. Few substitutions. We talked about Kelly McGroarty just now, Jonah. She'll be subbing in for the Hawkeyes. And Katie Crone in for the Gophers.
Yeah, Kelly McGroarty is second leader on the team in shots attempted. And we know she has the chance to make an impact when it comes to scoring. But only in 1 game, it's going to be interesting to see if she can sort of make her presence known against another team here, because outside of that 1 performance, she only had 1 assist the rest of the season. So the Hawkeyes desperate for her to be able to get on the goal sheet again.
Jones blocks that pass attempt. Oching will head it to Bush. Played all the way back to Millie Greer on the back line. Leposer out wide. Skiff, nice job evading Crone. Long pass towards McGroarty, who heads it towards Rolling, out of her reach. And Martin will try and start a Gopher counterattack.
And great idea there from McGroarty, just trying to get the flick onto Rolling. Unfortunately, communication wasn't quite there. Rolling not making the run into space, but good idea there from McGroarty. Something you like to see, especially right after she was subbed on.
Cleared again by the Gophers. Leposer will control for Iowa. Schuler near the far sideline towards McGroarty. Oching long pass, rolling, stays on side. Trying to drive to the net on the right side, centering to McGroarty. Blocked in front, McGroarty trying to find the net from behind her back. And it's cleared by the Gophers.
McGroarty tried to be a magician in the box there, just trying to make something out of the little opportunity she had on the ground there. Love to see it, but nothing comes of it for the Hawkeyes.
We see plenty of Hawkeye attacks be on the rush with plenty of real estate, just not able to find the back of the net so far today.
Yeah, and kind of going back to what we talked about with that Purdue game, that was another game where Iowa had so many chances, and obviously that winner, they were in position to draw in that game, even though they dominated until the last 12 seconds. So that's something these Hawkeyes really got to work on, is just taking advantage of the opportunities that they're able to create and that they're given.
Bush back with it again for Iowa, trying to find rolling out wide, trying to keep it inside. It stays in bounds, but the Gophers will continue with possession. It was Heimerl in pursuit for Minnesota. She did a great job winning the ball back.
Yeah, that was a good effort play there from Rolling to get to that ball, but unfortunately nobody backing her there.
Big collision. We're going to see a yellow card as Maya Schuler brought down Caroline Birdsell, who was trying to start a quick counterattack for Minnesota. She's slow getting up.
And interesting, a lot of times you don't see yellow shown until later on in the game when players have more fouls to their name, but here it was a good opportunity for a counterattack there from the Gophers, so you understand why the yellow was shown. Schuler definitely stopped a good attacking chance for the Gophers.
We talk about the physicality of this Iowa team, and that's on full display. That one results in a card, though, as the Gophers will play it wide. Heimerl to try and send it into the box. It's played out wide. Childers keeps it in. Hawkeyes will clear, but still with possession are the Gophers. Long shot over the crossbar is Tatiana Cunningham with a long look.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a world-class shot if she was able to get that on target. Unfortunately, no test there for Meyerink. Fortunately for Meyerink, she's had a very quiet day so far back there. No saves so far, hasn't been forced to do too much other than a couple good awareness plays on crosses to come out and stop it before it gets to an attacker.
Shea Doherty, Eileen Solomon, and the goal scorer, game-winning goal scorer against Purdue, Berkeley Bingley in the game now for the Hawkeyes. So a lot of substitutions late in the first half.
Yeah, just once again, once you get kind of later on in that first half, it's sort of a case of just get some fresh legs, get your starters a chance to rest going into the half so that they can be as fresh as possible for the second half. But I mean, even when you take those starters off, we know Iowa has a lot of star depth on that bench, a lot of players that can really create some good opportunities.
Iowa will get another throw in. Poser direct throw to Wildman. Touch pass to Doherty on the left side. And they're going to call for offsides. Third time in this half for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, but I don't mind it, though, because we've seen the Hawkeyes get a lot of success in those runners up kind of right at the top of that defensive line, really testing the Gophers' awareness. And so I don't mind that because a lot of times you can kind of maybe catch them at the last second making a run on behind them where they aren't able to see it, and then you're just suddenly in wide open space for a shot on goal.
High header by the Hawkeyes, trying to keep it in bounds is Doherty. Not able to do so. Minnesota has possession back. Ashley Turk to throw it in for the Gophers.
Feels like for the better part of this first half, Minnesota's somewhat had their backs against the wall to this Iowa pressure, so it's going to be big in these last 10 minutes or so to see if Minnesota can really kind of reestablish possession, reestablish some control of this game before halftime.
Here's Leposer near side. Doesn't like what she sees. She'll play it back to Greer, who'll switch it to Schuler. Schuler gets it back from Bingley. Slight header from McGroarty. Gophers with it first, though. They'll play it all the way back to Martin.
Yeah, Iowa had 4 runners kind of standing along that Minnesota back line, just waiting for a ball to be played over the top. Just really aggressive look from the Iowa attack.
Bingley trying to find Solomon there. Passes off the mark. Skiff, though, will keep it in Minnesota's end. Finally cleared out, though, by Smizer. Solomon again trying to get it to Minnesota's end. They'll do so. Bingley defended there by Heimerl. So Hawkeyes will keep possession with the throw-in. McGroarty trying to find Bingley out wide. Passes off the mark. Minnesota now with a throw-in, and they'll get some substitutions as well.
Number 9,
Sawyer Danielson and Davey McKelkey. And again, getting more starting players out of the lineup in these last couple of minutes here in the first half. Like you said, Jonah, trying to keep the legs fresh. You never know how this game will turn out.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, we know with both of these teams, their last game came down to, for Iowa, their last 2 games, but for Minnesota as well, their last game came down to real late tests, real late performances, real late goals for both of these teams to be able to grab the winner.
I mean, even in Minnesota's previous game against Nebraska, they tied them 2-2. So it goes down to the wire. Shot from McGroarty is blocked. Rebound cleared by the Gophers. Iowa will keep possession. But a great chance again inside the penalty area. Tyra Chu, who seems to be all over the place in Minnesota's box, blocks another one as Bush will try and get some separation, trying to find Skiff at the top of the box, and it's cleared.
The Hawkeyes have done a terrific job of finding space in that attacking third, something that's not easy to do, especially when the Minnesota defense has had a lot of numbers back for most of the game, but Iowa done a great job of just making runs into space, finding space, and taking advantage of getting shots off in that space.
Sliding tackle there. She'll slide again, McGroarty. And it looks like
advantage was played there,
Yes.
and he's giving it for the Hawkeyes as they're playing it a little further back.
8 minutes to play in the first half. We're still scoreless here at the Iowa Soccer Complex.
We'll see who takes it here for the Hawkeyes. We know Laposer's done such a great job on set pieces this entire season for Iowa, and we obviously know she has a rocket of a leg from that goal in their last match, but we'll see who's on this one.
Schuler standing right beside her. Schuler will take it, but she'll send it out wide to Laposer. Great pursuit by McKelkey to defend the cross. Hawkeyes will have a throw-in, but great work by Davey McKelkey to keep that cross from going any further.
Absolutely terrific hustle play there from McKelkey.
Hawkeyes trying to keep it inbounds. They won't do so. Goal kick now for Minnesota.
in for the Hawkeyes, number 27, Morgan.
Yeah, and the Hawkeyes, we know they've got star power coming into this season after a very strong season last year, but Sophia Bush, Millie Greer, Liana Tarasco. Interesting enough, Bush and Greer are more veterans to this team, Bush being a junior and Greer being a senior, but Tarasco being a freshman, she has had an outstanding start to her Iowa career.
And Sophia Bush as well, named a midfielder to watch this season. She's top 10 in the conference in assists. She's got 4 on the year. As that one trickles by Martin, and she'll cover in the meantime. But like you said, Jonah, this is a team that is filled with a lot of veterans, and not just the seniors. There's 3 seniors on this roster, but 8 graduate students, so a lot of veteran voices in the locker room.
Absolutely, and that alongside good coaching, that leads to just good character, and just especially when you have a team that is in so many late game situations, that is what you want. You want to turn to your veteran leaders, you want to turn to your coaching, and that's exactly what Iowa has.
Minnesota with a throw-in. Trying to find Iowa's box. Heimerl will cross it in. Just out of the reach of Avery Petty, who was looking to get ahead or a volley on that one, but no shot attempt there. Hawkeyes will have a goal kick.
That was a good look into the box there. Unfortunately, just a little too high for Avery Petty to get under, but solid opportunity there for the Gophers, who were able to find some space there. So a promising opportunity as we come into the dying moments of this first half.
Long pass is defended. Gophers quick on the counterattack. Here's Petty with a shot right towards Myrink with an easy save.
And suddenly, just like that, the tides are really turning. Minnesota getting a few opportunities, really kind of putting the Hawkeyes on their heels, giving them a little bit of a scare.
Laposer out wide to Morgan Leitz, who joined the game a few minutes ago. Long pass towards McGroarty, headed away by Chu. Hawkeyes will have it back, though. It's played back to Greer on the back line. Bingley's touch pass out of the reach of McGroarty as it sails past the far sideline. Gophers with a throw-in. Stays along that sideline. Minnesota will get another throw in closer towards the halfway line.
Yeah, and we're just continuously seeing Iowa put a lot of numbers towards that Minnesota back line when they're on the ball in the midfield. So expect to see a lot more balls played over the top in the second half, as we've seen Iowa's just come out with a really, really aggressive, really aerial game plan.
Long throw in from Heimerl is out of the reach of any Gophers. Schuler, though, will clear it back towards the far sideline.
And Minnesota doing a really good job here of kind of regaining control as this half comes to a close. Something you really like to see from a Gopher perspective when it comes to just gaining momentum going into halftime and coming out into the second half.
Iowa now to throw it in. This is Bingley. Can't find any open targets. We'll try and find Bush. Minnesota wins it back, though. Plenty of Hawkeye defenders there. McGroarty in the middle now to Greer. Plays it out wide. Leitz with a lot of room. Long pass towards Doherty. Misplay there, and the Gophers will clear it.
And name of the game for the Hawkeyes is going to have to be switching the field in the second half, because it feels as if anytime they've swung the ball around the back and looked towards the opposite side of the field from where the pressure previously was, they've found a lot of spacious space, especially putting it forward to those wingers, making those terrific runs down the sideline.
Long pass, a hustle for it. Schuler beating McKelkey there.
Terrific hustle there from Schuler to be able to get behind, McCulkey, and just shield her off of that ball, make it an easy goal kick for Iowa.
Looked for a second from my angle that it might have been a corner. Looked for the assistant referee, but pointed towards the penalty area.
And that's just a good veteran play from Schuler right there.
Leads along the near sideline, trying to find Doherty. Chu will get there first for the Gophers, and she'll clear.
And Chu did a great job of picking that ball out, realizing it was about to be played, and coming off of her, man, and sinking in to be able to take that ball away from Iowa.
Skiff switches to Schuler. Long pass towards the top of the box. Bush will control. Wide to Leitz. Will cross it in, and Martin is the first one there.
Yeah, good awareness there for Martin to get off her line as quick as possible. But I like what I saw out of Iowa there. Good control through the midfield. Good job of getting it out to Leitz, and Leitz playing a solid ball into the middle of the box there in space.
We have another look as Martin quick in pursuit as we're entering the final minute of half number 1. Still no score here in Iowa City.
Absolutely no shortage of opportunities for either of these teams,
Yes.
though.
Schuler's long pass finds McGroarty, but she can't control. Iowa will have a throw-in, though, with half a minute left.
Might as well bring all your numbers up for this one. This is going to be the last opportunity of the half.
McGroarty will throw it in towards the top of the box. Bingley will head it towards the Leeds. Martin's the first one there, though. And that will be the final chance of this first half, and that's how we'll end things. Still scoreless at the Iowa Soccer Complex. But like you said, Jonah,
For these tight games down the stretch, and they've got a lot of experience with it. They know how to handle it, so it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of both of these two teams, both experience, see who is able to get the better of the other, or if we're going to end in a deadlock.
second half underway here in Iowa City. It's played back to Myrink. And she'll send it over to LaPoser, and Iowa looking for their 7th win of the season. Minnesota looking for win number 6. If either team wins, would either one be their 2nd victory in conference play so far. Long pass from Myrink finds Schuler near side. Long pass out of the reach, but Rolling will pursue Chu, and she'll have to turn back. She looked like she was maybe going to try and feed Martin to switch the field, but that one goes out of bounds. Iowa throwing incoming.
Yeah, but I mean, right off the bat in the second half, not much has changed with this Iowa attacking game plan with these deep balls over the top, trying to get it right over that back line, catch them off guard, and see if you can get a runner in behind them. Seems like that's when Iowa has been at their best on the attack today. Not so much in these slower buildups, however. As we were talking in the first half, Iowa was doing a decent job of finding space and getting some shot opportunities around the box.
Schuler will try and find Tarasco at the top of the box to head of the way, but it's still in there. And Martin up in the air to grab that one.
And not too much of a scare there for Martin. A relatively easy one to go out and grab. No Iowa Hawkeyes really contesting that aerial.
Second save of the day for Sarah Martin. That's the second time I've called her Sophia today.
You know, I'll give you some credit. It's the S names.
That's definitely what it is, but that one sails out of bounds, and throwing incoming for the Hawkeyes. LaPoser, quick decision, finding Tarasco towards the middle. Back to LaPoser, long pass out of the reach of Rolling, but she'll have it back for the Hawkeyes, trying to send Oching, but she'll have to play it back. Hawkeyes will look to try and switch the field here. It's played all the way back to Millie Greer.
Yeah, nice passing there and some tight space in the midfield from the Hawkeyes.
Minnesota wins it back now. Here's Childers. Deflected to Oching. Plenty of space. Finds Rolling. Solomon will try and send it wide towards Wildman. It's out of the reach and goes past the baseline for a goal kick.
No major opportunities here in the first few minutes of this half. Coming out a little stagnant, but that's nothing that we wouldn't necessarily expect.
Headed back into Minnesota's end. Bush keeps it in on the near sideline. Skiff will try and find her again. Passes off the mark. But it does deflect off a Gopher, so Iowa keeps possession with the throw-in. Rowland trying to send Tarasco. That's blocked by the Gophers. Great work by Wynn to win possession back from Minnesota.
And Rolling just getting a little too aggressive with their body there, trying to win it back, but it's going to be a Gopher free kick. Yes, free kick for the Gophers.
Taylor Heimerl to take it for Minnesota.
And interestingly enough, something to take note of is the fouls committed so far in this game. Iowa's committed 8, and Minnesota's only committed 1.
And a big collision there again between Bush and Wynn. Wildman trying to spring Tarasco. Her first touch is a little too far, and Martin, quick awareness once again to stop the scoring chance.
Yeah, not much else you could do there if you're Tarasco other than attempt what would be a world-class touch with her chest, but unable to settle it quite just enough. So, yeah, just rolled away there from her. But a great opportunity there, and you like to see that she's at least trying that. Again, not much else she can do, but unable to control it.
Another foul on the Hawkeyes as Wildman took down Wynn there. And again, that's foul number 9. Whistle has not been quiet today for Iowa, but again, Minnesota has not done anything as of yet with those opportunities. Looking here, though, as Kala will send it into the box. Headed away by Leposer, but it goes to Turk. Drives towards the baseline, sends it in. Meyrink gets a piece of it. Or maybe she didn't get a piece of it, dove for it, as it just trickles wide, and it's a goal kick for Iowa.
I mean, just a funky yet extremely dangerous shot there from Turk. I can't quite tell if she was trying to cross it into a teammate or if she was trying to put it on frame herself, and she very nearly did. There was almost nothing Meyrink could do there for the Hawkeyes.
Wynn wins it back for Minnesota. But Iowa quick on defense as Wildman working along the sideline, trying to spring Rolling, who tries to find Tarasco in the middle. Great defense there from Keegan Smizer. And another foul for the Hawkeyes. Schuler a little too aggressive there near the halfway line.
Minnesota starting to, it looks like calm down a little bit, starting to get a little more possession, and they're doing a good job with these free kicks of establishing some solid possession in the attacking half, something they really need to do here.
Kala again to take the free kick for the Gophers. Pass towards the top of the box, headed towards goal. Meyrink will keep it in play, will not let it roll out of bounds, and she'll pick this one up from the Minnesota pressure. Quick throw towards Leposer, who's got some space. Oching along the far sideline.
A lot of pressure on that left side, but if the Hawkeyes are able to switch the field, they've got plenty of space on the right side, but Minnesota able to close down well enough to win it back.
Cunningham in the middle of the field for the Gophers. Out wide to Heimerl. Switching the field, that pass a little behind Smizer. She'll have to play it back to her keeper, Martin. They battle for it. Big collision, and that's going to be a foul on Minnesota as Skiff goes down, but is up in a hurry. Collided with Mariah Wynn.
See what they do here. Are they going to try to possess it, play it short, or are they just going to send it deep once again? We know Leposer can very accurately, so either way, Iowa can pose a threat here in the attacking half.
Leposer will go with her right foot this time. Sends it towards the top of the box. Finds Greer. Her shot attempt or cross attempt is blocked by Smizer, and it's going to be a corner kick for Iowa, their third of the day.
Impressive control there from Greer on that run. A great ball in, by the way, but impressive control from Greer to be able to stay on side, kind of dance with that last line of the Gopher defense and win a corner.
Oching will take the corner once again. Like we talked about, Iowa 3 corners to Minnesota's 1. Crosses towards the far post. No one can really get a header on it, and it's cleared by Minnesota. Rolling, good job to turn around and keep possession for the Hawkeyes. She throws it immediately towards Tarasco. Smizer plays it out of bounds, so another throw in for Iowa. Solomon will send it towards the box. It's headed away, though, by Heimerl. Near side, goes towards Iowa's bench, and another throw-in. Schuler looking for Tarasco. On the right side, plays it back to Wildman. Tries to cross it in. Wynn is there to separate there. Still towards the outside of Minnesota's box. Iowa will get another throw-in.
And Wynn doing a terrific job for the Gophers. There just a couple of times we saw her kind of put her body on the line, put a tackle in, and really stop promising opportunities for Iowa.
Wildman trying to feed the box. Chu was there in pursuit to clear it. Still in Minnesota's end, though. Another foul. Schuler will protest. She and Birdsell have had plenty of collisions today.
It feels like Birdsell's been on the receiving end of quite a few somewhat hard fouls.
Yeah, the recipient of Schuler's yellow card tackle earlier in the first half. It's now 11 fouls for Iowa today.
Hawkeyes have been lucky that not too many cards have been shown, but as the cards really start to tally up, especially when the aggression is more so just going one way other than both teams participating in it, you usually expect to see some cards, especially as the second half goes on. Just the refs got to take control of the game a little bit and make sure that Iowa's not getting overly aggressive and potentially creating some chances for injury later as the game goes on.
Hawkeyes trying to get out of their own end of the field. Cunningham doing a fantastic job standing strong on the halfway line, but Iowa trying to spring rolling, won't be able to do so. We played 12 minutes so far in the second half. Still no score to show. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is Big Ten Soccer on Big Ten Plus. Charlie Fox, Jonah Fry, coming to you live from Iowa City.
We are. I mean, as we come down the stretch in the fall, you know, season gets on, getting close to October. You're always kind of worried weather might start to get a little colder, but no, we've had most of the games here this season just beautiful weather. I mean, just exactly what you want to get. Good outcome from the fans. A lot of fans showing up. You love to see it.
Hawkeyes looking for a fast attack. Wildman trying to keep it in. She does, and then it goes off of Heimerl. So another throw-in for Iowa. Wildman plays it back to Schuler. Sends it in towards the box. Rowling can't get ahead on it, and it bounces past Oching, who has to chase it down. Blocks the clearing attempt from Turk. And it'll be a goal kick, first substitution incoming for the Gophers.
Things looking just a little scrappy for both teams. Not as polished as both head coaches are probably hoping for, but as the second half progresses, I mean, you're hoping it's kind of just halftime jitters, but it feels like we're about 15 minutes into this second half. Expect to see it a little cleaner. So interesting to note, as opposed to the first half, just a lot more mishaps.
Iowa regains possession back. Schuler with it inside Minnesota's end. Pass in the middle to Tarasco. Quick to pursue is Cunningham. Minnesota clears, but not out.
And if you're Tarasco there, I mean, you're receiving it in plenty of space in the midfield. Good job from Martin there to come out and get that. But if you're Tarasco, you're receiving that ball in the midfield. You got plenty of space, but you got to know you're in the heart of the defense for Minnesota. You got to expect a runner kind of addressing your back, kind of getting right on your back. As soon as you receive that ball, you got to know to get it off your foot quick, kind of know where you're going with it next. She kind of just stalled on it a little too much.
Josie Jones and Kelly McGroarty waiting to sub back into the game here. Now it's played back to Martin. Chu near side. Header is won by Schuler. It's Leposer now who will start a quick transition for the Hawkeyes, trying to spring Bush. But the pass is just off the mark, but it rolls past the defender, and it's going to be offside regardless. And I wonder about that call, Jonah, because usually when you're on your own end of the field, there doesn't tend to be, the offside tends to be wiped, does it not?
Yeah, that was just a little funky there. I don't know. I couldn't exactly see what the call was, if it was offsides or if it was a foul. But, yeah, it looked like Bush might have just started to run a little early. But, I mean, when you're talking in terms of when you're on your own half or not, when the last attacker is on their own half of the field,
right,
that's when it can't be offsides. When the ball is played on your own half of the field but the attacker is on the attacking half of the field, it can still be offsides.
And, you know, from my background, I played soccer for a majority of my childhood. Sometimes you need some clarifications, and sometimes the rules are a little fuzzy. But, I mean, soccer is a sport. I mean, there hasn't really been many rule changes at all since this sport was even invented.
Which is a good thing,
yes.
I feel. But, yeah, no, that offsides rule, there's a few different complications to it that can make it somewhat tricky. And it's different than other sports, like hockey has offsides. It's just... Obviously, football has offsides. There's kind of different implications to each of the rules in each of the sports.
Long pass from Schuler is going to roll out by the near sideline. More substitutions. Katie Crone now in the game for Minnesota, subbing out Freya Jupp.
And Jupp, the leading scorer for the Gophers this season. Interesting they're taking her off. Maybe expect to see her back on as the second half kind of comes closer to the dying moments.
Martin will easily cover that one as Oching was trying to spring one of her teammates inside the penalty area, and not much of a chance there. As here's Childers. Long pass towards Birdsell, but she can't get there first. She'll be beaten to it by Greer. She'll play it back to Meyerink. Ochane barely keeps that one in play. Back to Leposer. Skiff with plenty of space in the middle of the field, trying to spring Wildman wide. Heimerl putting on the afterburners to keep Wildman from getting possession, and a goal kick now for Minnesota. Fantastic work from Heimerl.
Yeah, Heimerl doing a good job of hustling back there and shielding Wildman off the ball, but I love what I saw from that ball out of Skiff. She saw the run that Wildman was making into space down that right side. It would have been a tricky one to connect, obviously, with Heimerl being right there, but just a great ball. It was placed in a good spot. Unfortunately, Wildman just not able to reach it in time.
Cunningham plays it wide. Turk will play it to the back line. Minnesota looking to switch. They will do so. Heimerl's pass is intercepted by Skiff. Bush wide to Oching, who can't get a foot on it. She'll have to chase after it. Keeps it in play.
Yeah, Bush. Good chance here. Good ball onto Oching.
Give and go with Bush. Oching keeps it along the baseline. And Turk with great defense to break up the play.
Yeah, it was just going to say, on that first attack that Iowa had with Sophia Bush on the ball, it felt like she almost kind of stalled on it just a little too long.
Another hard collision with Birdsell in the middle of things, this time with Leposer. And another foul for the Hawkeyes. Free kick will be taken by Kala. At the top of the box. Chase is on, and it's going to be cleared. Thrown incoming, but great speed from Berkeley Bingley to make sure Minnesota couldn't get a chance on that play, but they'll keep possession in Iowa's end. They'll get another throw-in out of it. Crone in the corner. Man, what a play there from Skiff to desperately keep Avery Petty from keeping it in play, and it looked like she almost got stomped on there on the baseline.
Yeah, that was terrific pressure from Iowa's defense, just closing up any space. It looked like, I mean, that entire time it felt like there was absolutely nowhere for Minnesota to go. I mean, eventually they were just trying to win a corner.
Bingley will throw it in towards Wildman, but Cunningham gets in there to make the tackle. It's played back to Martin. Header won there from Skiff. Bush with a nice first touch. She blocks the first clearing attempt. And she'll win possession back for the Hawkeyes. Oching finds McGroarty in the box. Big save by Martin, and it's cleared by the Gophers. Still with it along the far sideline, and a whistle sounds.
And just looking back at it, lovely attacking play from the Hawkeyes and a good, strong shot on goal there. That was McGroarty looking for her 5th of the season, but a terrific and strong save from Martin, punching it back out, but luckily they were able to clear it away with no issues.
That was definitely the best look of the game. Martin with her 3rd save. She's been absolutely stellar today. Now here comes Minnesota. Big collision outside the penalty area. Along the baseline, sent in towards Kroll, header, and Myrink says touche on that one. As she trades saves with Martin, both teams getting their best looks within a minute.
Yeah, that was a great opportunity for Crone. She got a good head on it, just wasn't able to direct it quite enough. Myrink doing a good job of saving it. Relatively easy save in that end, but from the position that Crone had it, really shouldn't have been an easy save to make.
Pass towards Wildman. She'll look to keep it in. Centers cleared away by the Gophers. Still inside the box. Martin can't control it, but it dribbles out. Iowa will remain with possession, but man, this game has been blown wide open in terms of scoring chances.
Yeah, things getting a little wild on both attacking ends here.
Bush can't keep it in bounds, so a goal kick will result with that from that possession. Past the halfway point of the second half, and things just got a lot exciting in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of good opportunities in that first half. It felt like for a while in this second half, things kind of slowed down. Not too many good looks on goal, but over the last, five minutes or so, things have really opened up for both teams.
Oching fast in transition. Wildman at the top of the box. Good tackle there from the Gophers. They'll try and start a counterattack, but the Hawkeyes quick to get possession back. It's played wide to Schuler. She'll send it into the box. Header by McGroarty, not on target. And Martin will easily scoop that one up.
Yeah, good ball in from Schuler there, but a lot of what we've seen out of Iowa in the attacking third is it feels like the build-up play will be really good, and they've had a couple good shots on net, but there's been a couple times where the ball will get to someone's foot and they'll just kind of stall on it. It feels like they don't have a lot of intention under what they want to do with it. And that's where I think Iowa just needs to be a little more decisive in that final third, because Minnesota closes down quick, but Iowa's been in the position to have some good shots on net, good opportunities, but they've just stalled a little more than ideal.
Throw in for the Gophers. Birdsell trying to get around Schuler. Schuler meets her the whole way, though. And great job by Schuler staying with Birdsell at every step, but it's still sent into the area. Jones gets a header on it. Hawkeyes trying to get out of their own end. They'll have a lot of space. Bush will try and spring Wildman, who's ahead of Chu. Near side. Trying to set up a cross possibly. Gets around Chu, centers to Oching, score! The Hawkeyes get the first one on the board. Iba Oching off of a great counterattack from Iowa, set up by Wildman. Iowa on first, 1-0.
Terrific, strong finish from Oching, placing it exactly where she needed to with a perfect amount of power. No question about it. As soon as it got towards her foot, you knew she was putting it in. But let's take a look at that cross in from Wildman and the run she made to get there. She started her run. She started sprinting from midfield, took it all the way to the end line, and a beautiful cross in. I mean, she had plenty of stamina there, obviously, to get that ball in, make that run, and what a play from Wildman.
All three of those Hawkeye players that were a part of that scoring chance, Oching, Wildman, and Sophia Bush, who sprung Wildman on that big rush, were all just subbed out, as now Abby Skiff is shaken up as well for the Hawkeyes. She'll be subbed by Eileen Solomon.
Can't tell, looked like a little discomfort for Skiff there. She ended up going down on a knee to let Gianni know she's needing a sub, so couldn't quite tell what happened there to Skiff, but hopefully she's okay. A very pivotal piece of this Hawkeye midfield.
So Iowa gets the first one on the board. We thought maybe going into the second half that we could see a very, very tight second half. It was a slow start, but these last 6 or 7 minutes have been action-packed, and it ends, as for the moment, with an Iba Oching goal to put her team in front. And that's Oching's first goal of the season, Jonah. What a time to get it, too.
Absolutely, and it's her first goal of the season, but Oching has just been a pivotal piece of this midfield. She's such a smart and calming presence for Iowa. It feels like she very rarely makes errors, and just a commanding force in the midfield, and right there, obviously, she was able to cool and compose, smash it into the back of the net.
Another offsides for the Hawkeyes as they're trying to spring another rush. Foul on Minnesota. Iowa will win it back.
And just like that, Minnesota really with their backs against the wall in this match, especially if they're wanting to come away with the win. There's a lot of very limited time here for them. And we know that their leading goal scorer, Freya Jupp, is on the bench right now. So we'll see if we see her back out there.
Schuler with a long pass, trying to find Rolling, can't get a header on it. Hawkeyes screaming for a foul. They will not get one. Martin will collect things for the Gophers.
And Keegan Smizer with a really aggressive challenge there on Rolling. I like the no call there, especially at this stage in the game. It's just a physical play. She got under her Rolling while Rolling was in the air, so not necessarily the cleanest play, but when it's inside the box, it's a lot harder to draw fouls.
Heimerl with a lot of space. Quick transition for Minnesota. Schuler with a good tackle to disrupt things, but it does go off of Heimer, so a goal kick for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Schuler's had a very terrific game defensively for Iowa. She's been a rock back there, hasn't let too much past her, hasn't really made any errors as of recently. That whole Iowa back line, after the first 5-10 minutes or so of the match, it was looking a little shaky, but they've definitely locked things down since then.
All three of them have played the entire match so far between Schuler, Greer, and Leposer. I've only kept Myrick from making 2 saves so far today, and both of those shot attempts were right towards her, so not challenging necessarily. Teams will battle for it near the halfway line. Minnesota will look to set up an attack here as they'll switch the field back over towards Heimerl's end. Hawkeyes will get a throw in as that one goes past Minnesota's bench. Petty pursued there. It's cleared out by Schuler, and Minnesota with another throw-in.
Yeah, we're getting to the stage of the game, the last 15 minutes or so here, where if you're the Hawkeyes, whenever you get a chance to get your foot on the ball, get some possession, you got to really start to think of slowing the game down, taking away opportunities from the Gophers, really start to try to bleed that clock, because 15 minutes may seem like a lot, but if you're able to build some steady possession, especially out of the back, you can really bleed that clock away.
Turk on the far side. Kala has it in the middle. Big collision with McGroarty. No call there. Iowa looking to transition. That pass just too far ahead of Kenzie Rolling. And Martin will quickly transition it the other way. We're nearing 15 minutes left in the half. In the middle. Big challenge from Solomon. They'll play on. Another big tackle by Minnesota, this time on Kroll. Bingley wins possession back for Iowa. A lot of physicality in those previous 20 seconds.
And we look at the touchline, some big-time substitutions ready to be made. Looks like Freya Jupp's going to be coming back on for Minnesota. And Sophia Bush and Abby Skiff, who must be back from feeling a little discomfort. Big-time substitutions for both teams.
Yeah, it seemed like since Freya Jupp was subbed out of the game, it seemed like that was the turning point where this game on both ends blew completely wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, both ends kind of being blown wide open. It's been a lot more Iowa in this second half,
yes.
But yes, in that first half we did see some really good opportunities from Minnesota. We're going to need to see, I expect to see a couple opportunities from them, as they're probably going to try to throw in the kitchen sink here as the game goes on.
For the Hawkeyes, number 5, Sophia Bush.
Good job from Morgan Leeds to keep that one from going out on Iowa. So the Hawkeyes will have a throw in as soon as the substitutions are off the field. McGroarty and Solomon come back off the field for the Hawkeyes. And again, Freya Jupp back on for Minnesota. Down by 1 with 14 minutes to go. Bush will slow down this rush for Iowa. Bingley to Schuler. Headed away, though, by Chu. Still in Minnesota's end. Skiff wins it back to Tarasco. Cunningham, though, boxes out Bush to keep her from creating more of an attack for Iowa. Mishandle, though, from Turk. She'll keep possession, but she'll have to just send it. Keeps it in bounds, actually, but this time it goes out off Minnesota. Iowa will get the throw in after all.
Yeah, at this point in the game, it feels as if a goal for the Hawkeyes would really put a dagger in this one.
Leposer with a big challenge, wins it back for Iowa. Skiff trying to find Bingley in the box, just too far. And Martin aggressive out of the net.
Yeah, the right idea there from Skiff. Bingley had some space, but unfortunately just wasn't able to get under it. It was a little tricky over her head and kind of going around her back shoulder. So can't really blame her for not getting under that one, but good opportunity for Iowa and a good ball in there from Skiff.
Back with it again as Tarasco headed it towards the direction of rolling. And Greer keeps Jupp from making a run there. Tarasco out wide to Leitz. Jones plays it back to Leposer. Long pass trying to find Rolling, but it's going to roll towards Martin. We've seen Rolling try and make that run past the back line from Minnesota. She's gotten caught a few times with some offsides, but it's been something that Minnesota's kind of had to look out for so far.
It feels like she's just never been in connection with her suppliers of the ball. You know, she's been offsides a couple of times when she's made those good runs. And then when she doesn't make the runs, that seems to be when those balls are played into good spots for her. So a little unlucky there, but you like what you see out of the runs from her. But at the same time, it's just a little bit of disconnect from the midfield and her up top.
Iba Oching back in the game for the Hawkeyes. Looks like Iowa's playing with 4 defenders now, as Oching usually can play back there, is looking to help defend this lead for the Hawkeyes, and Minnesota will get another foul here. Leposer to take this free kick. Oching and Schuler will stay back as Greer will find herself along that back line of Minnesota. Sent in towards that area. Wildman can't get ahead on it though. Cleared by Heimerl.
And Wildman just mistiming that jump just a little bit. Might have still been a little too high for her to reach.
Rolling, trying to get around the defenders. Big collision in the box. Rolling's going to get called for the foul there.
Looked like she was kind of just throwing herself at that one. She got contact with the ball, but a little more contact with Smizer than the referee would have liked.
Oching keeps this one in play. Schuler plays it back to Myrink. Minutes to go in the second half. Long pass won't connect. Minnesota will look to counterattack. Birdsell loses it there to Wildman. Trying to spring an attack here. Numbers for the Hawkeyes. And a big tackle, and it looks like we're going to get a penalty here. As Bingley made that run for Iowa. With 9:42 to go, a hard challenge. Man.
Judging by the looks of the replay there and what we saw in time, it definitely looked like a hard collision and definitely seemed like the right call. Absolutely no contact on the ball there from Minnesota, and just a great ball in for Bingley to be able to get under. She dealt with it well, could have gotten it off her foot a little earlier if she wanted to get a shot on goal, but obviously it worked out well for her being able to draw the penalty.
That was Smizer who made the tackle. And what a chance this is for Iowa to try and put this game away. Bingley with the penalty attempt. And no mistake. 2-0 lead for the Hawkeyes. Berkeley Bingley gets back-to-back goals in back-to-back matches to put this one just out of reach.
Yeah, just a perfectly placed penalty. Even if Martin guessed the right way, I don't know if she's getting to that one. Slotted it very well in that bottom right corner, and like you said, that's 2 goals in 2 games for Bingley. All of a sudden, she's really making her presence known on that goal sheet for the Hawkeyes.
For the Gophers, number 17, Mariah Wynn, and number 23.
Few substitutions for Minnesota trying to shake things up here.
Yeah, and we're definitely into the desperation territory now for Minnesota. If they're going to want to try to savor a draw from this one, it's going to be incredibly difficult, especially knowing how good this Iowa back line and Meyerink have been this game and this entire season. So not looking too good for Minnesota, and for Iowa, just a very impressive 2nd win in a row in the Big Ten, and they're going to find themselves pretty comfortably up there at the top of the Big Ten standings.
And for Iowa, Jonah, this stat dates back to October of 2017. They're 59-3-3 when leading by 2 goals in their last 65 games.
And I'd like to know the statistics on how many games they've won when they're up 2 with only 10 minutes to go.
Schuler to chase this one back. She's going to let this one roll across the baseline, and it's going to be a goal kick for Iowa.
Yeah, and Iowa right now is just going to really put emphasis on bleeding the clock, passing it around, especially around that back line as much as possible. Minnesota's going to have to cut off the easy passes for Iowa and just put as much pressure as they can in that defensive half for the Hawkeyes.
Long clear from Iowa. Minnesota gets it back, though. Wing near side. Trying to center. Oching with a block. Minnesota still with it, though. Cross attempt blocked again by Oching, and she'll clear. That was Maya Nugent with the cross attempt. She's seeing her first action today. Less than 8 minutes to go. Long pass towards Doherty. They both didn't know where the ball was for a second. And that one will go out of bounds.
Great hustle from Doherty there. I mean, you know you're not going to be able to create too much. You got a lot of defenders back for Minnesota, and name of the game for her right there is just doing as much as you can to disrupt the play for Minnesota. Try not to let them get on the ball. Try to just, once again, burn as much time as possible by disrupting their ability to have a flowing attack built out of the back.
Maya Schuler coming out of the game for the first time today. Lexi Griffin will take her place with 7.5 to go. Clearing attempt blocked again by Oching. Minnesota trying to get out of their own end. They'll get it to the halfway line, headed there by Griffin. And a third header there for the Hawkeyes. Now it's a game of when will the ball touch the ground, Jonah, as Minnesota will try and get some sort of attack going, as the poster will try and clear, still not out. And Kawa will slow things down for the Gophers. 7 minutes to go.
And that ball really rifled off of Maya Nugent's face. Good to see that she's okay, able to shake that one off. Pretty impressive toughness. Yeah, a lot of it, as you said, a lot of keeping that ball up in the air, a lot of keepy-uppy there for these players.
Driving inside the box, centering. Wildman will try to clear, and the Hawkeyes will do just that. That run was from Davy McCulkey.
A very dangerous situation if you're the Iowa defense there. That ball kind of bouncing around in the box. I mean, any Minnesota player able to get a touch on that is most likely going to be putting that on frame. Myrick, not a lot of time to react if it's from that close. So definitely lucky for the Hawkeyes that a shot wasn't put on net there.
Make collision as Minnesota will keep possession, centering it in the box. Shot just over the crossbar. Less than 6 minutes to go, and a prime scoring chance for Minnesota they can't execute.
And what an opportunity there as we take a look here at Minnesota's upcoming schedule. Not a lot of ranked teams until UCLA, but with the Big Ten, we know just how tough and how deep that conference really is. I mean, you might not see too many of them in the top 25 in the country, but that certainly doesn't mean that they are not a very strong team, as we saw with Northwestern being an unranked team, yet beating TCU and taking Iowa to the wire and drawing with them. There's a lot of teams that can really make some noise in this conference.
Great play by Chu to fight off Doherty, who was looking to be sprung on a break. But yeah, with conference play underway for both of these teams and for the rest of the conference as well, you find all those games on Big Ten Plus. As for these games for the Hawkeyes, they'll travel to Madison, then Lincoln this next weekend, and we'll have a little bit of a homestand to begin October. As that was defended well, but a corner kick incoming for the Hawkeyes with less than 5 minutes to go. That's the fourth one of the day. This is exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking back at that schedule from Iowa, minus Iowa State, this three-game stretch seemingly has all their biggest rivals. So maybe not hatred necessarily, but a lot of distaste for a lot of these games down the stretch for Iowa.
Oching to take the corner. Going towards the middle of the penalty area. No one able to make contact. Leposer to send it back, looking for Greer. She can't get a good header on it. Childers will clear it towards the far sideline. Another substitution for the Gophers, and it's the goal scorer against Rutgers, Aaron Gabriel, to try and provide some sort of last-minute scoring touch for the Gophers. But with less than 4 minutes to go, this is dire situations.
Absolutely. It might just be a little too late for Gabriel to make too much of an impact for these Golden Gophers, unfortunately.
Nugent will control. Looking for Wynn. It's broken up there by Oching. Wildman pursued by Wynn, who catches up to her and gets in front of her. Minnesota will clear out. Iowa with a quick throw-in. And they'll have to do that one again as Schuler was trying to get back into the game. And she'll switch out with Griffin.
Yeah, Minnesota definitely not backing down as we've gone across these last 5-10 minutes or so, especially after that second goal. They've kept applying a lot of pressure, kept putting some numbers forward, not giving up, but Iowa's done a great job of staying composed and keeping the ball in the attacking half of the field.
Wildman centers. No one home for the Hawkeyes. Jones with it, though, at the top of the box. Here's Griffin. Plenty of room. Long shot. Misses the net. It'll be a goal kick for Minnesota.
Yeah, and Lexi Griffin, seeing what her teammates have done throughout the season with some of these just outlandish goals, but unable to get good enough connection there with her foot and sends it wide. But no harm, no foul necessarily for Iowa. You burn some more clock down. It's not necessarily a dire spot where you need a goal, so can't complain about wasting a few seconds off the clock.
Big challenge there from Griffin. Minnesota trying to win it back. They will for the moment. Long pass towards Gabriel. Trying to win it away from Schuler. She'll get possession for the Gophers. Nearing the 2-minute mark. Nugent plays it in the middle to Childers. Wide towards McKelkey. Leposer trying to stay with her. And big win there from Leposer, trying to shield McKelkey away. And that one will be cleared off of McKelkey for a goal kick.
Yeah, and we know Aaron Gabriel coming on just a couple minutes ago, and she's already made a pretty impressive impact so far. Shown a lot of fire, a lot of aggression up there, and creating potential chances for Minnesota. And would have liked to see her come on a little earlier.
Yeah, especially providing this Minnesota front line with a lot of speed. As that pass towards her is broken up by Schuler. She'll clear. Doherty will be the first one to it for Iowa. Looking to get some separation. Shot. Big save there. As Martin had to dive to her right to get that one as Doherty was looking to find the left post. And we near the final minute. Martin coming way out of the net to send this one the other way.
Yeah, and going back to that save, just Sarah Martin showing off the acrobatics, not only making the save, but grabbing that ball instead of punching it away. Just getting rid of all senses of danger there.
Doherty trying a little back heel there. Does not connect with that pass. And Minnesota sends it back into Iowa's end. Big collision there. Ref says they'll play on. Nearing 20 seconds to go. Kala with some space. Goes inside the box. Centers. Broken up by Leposer. She'll keep it in bounds. And it goes out on the far sideline. Minnesota will try and get one last chance. 5 seconds to go. Clock will wind down. And that will do it here at the Iowa Soccer Complex. The